Hi! Ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon sa video ito ay kung paano gumawa ng weekly learning plan according to DepEd Order number 17, series of 2022. Hello everyone once again and welcome back sa ating paboritong channel. Yes, my name is Teacher Racky para sa mga bago pa lang sa channel na ito. And I do videos on different reports and documents prepared by public school teachers here in the Philippines. I also make reaction videos about different DepEd issuances and day-to-day life of teachers here in the Philippines and some of lifestyle videos. Kaya kung bago pa lang kayo sa channel na to, please hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to click the like button. And let us share this video and this channel to everybody para mas marami pa pong makaalam at makinabang sa ating mga videos na ginagawa po. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every time may bago tayong post. Maraming salamat po! So, wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa, diretso na tayo sa ating topic for today's video. So, una ko munang babanggitin ang DepEd Order number 17 series of 2022 which was issued April 6, 2022, and this is entitled Guidelines on the Progressive Expansion on Face-to-Face Class. So, basically, ang nilalaman ng DepEd Order na ito ay ang mga dapat tandaan, alituntunin, guidelines para sa pagbubukas ng ating paaralan sa panibagong face-to-face class as compared to the limited face-to-face class that we had last school year. So, dito, we are being guided on how to gradually open up the school on a face-to-face basis. So, nag-umpisa nga tayo, di ba, ng 3 days face-to-face, 2 days modular, and eventually will turn to a full face-to-face implementation po in November. So, yun po nilalaman ng ating DepEd Order number 17 series of 2022. But, aside from that, we are also being guided on how to prepare our daily lesson plan or daily lesson log. This time, we are going to use the weekly learning plan. So, ano nga ba ang WLP o yung weekly learning plan? Remember last school year, when we were having the pandemic, ang ginagamit natin on a modular or a distance learning setup, gumagamit tayo ng weekly home learning plan. This time, tinanggal na yung home, ito ay weekly learning plan na lang. Ito na yung pinapagawa sa atin, pinapaprepare sa atin as our daily lesson plan or daily lesson log. Okay? So, what is WLP? Weekly Learning Plan or the WLP is an outline of home-based activities and classroom-based activities that guides both teachers and learners in the attainment of instructional objectives, for example, the most essential learning competencies or the MELC, during face-to-face classes. So, kung ang WHLP last time serves as an outline of home-based activities na binibigay natin sa mga bata during our modular or online classes, ang WLP ay pinagsamang home-based activities at classroom-based activities. Dahil nga, we are implementing half face-to-face and half modular approaches sa pag-uumpisa ng ating school year. So, ito ang ginagamit natin na lesson plan. It is a simplified instructional plan that combines the weekly home learning plan and the daily lesson log or plan. So, yon, linawin natin yon. Ang WLP daw ay pinagsamang weekly home learning plan at daily lesson log or daily lesson plan. Pinagsama po sila. That is because of the combination of our face-to-face class and modular approach. Okay? Makikita natin mamaya kung ano ibig sabihin ng pinagsamang weekly home learning plan and daily lesson plan. Next question, who will do WLP? Sino bang gumagawa ng WLP? Of course, the teachers handling face-to-face classes shall prepare only the WLP as an instructional guide. So, nilinaw po na lahat ng teachers na humahawak ng face-to-face class, of course, that comes with modular as well, di ba? Ganun yung setup natin ngayon. So, they will only prepare WLP. Yun lang daw po ang gagawin natin. WLP. Malinaw po yan. Wala po tayong ibang gagawin. On a regular class basis. Siyempre, pag meron tayong mga demonstration teaching, ang ginagamit natin is a formal lesson plan. So, on a regular basis, ang gagamitin po natin starting this school year is WLP as our instructional guide. Another one, teachers shall prepare the weekly learning plan to provide direction and guidance for both classroom-based and home-based activities. So, ang mga teacher po ay magpe-prepare ng WLP para mag-guide ang ating mga students regarding their classroom-based activities and home-based activities. Each learner shall be provided with a copy of weekly learning plan to serve as their guide for learning tasks that should be done at home when they are on distance learning. So, dapat daw po ay binibigyan natin ng copy ang bawat learners natin ng ating weekly learning plan. This is for them to be guided on what they're supposed to complete or to do during home-based class. Kasi nakalagay po sa ating WLP, classroom-based activities, home-based activities, nakalagay doon. So, dapat binibigyan daw po natin ng ating mga estudyante ng kopya nito so that pag nandun sila sa bahay, they would know what to do, what are their home-based learning activities. So, para ding weekly home learning plan, di ba? Remember ang weekly home learning plan natin, binibigyan natin ng kopya ang ating mga estudyante so that they will be guided on what to do during home-based activities. Next question will be, how do we craft WLP? Paano ba tayo gagawa ng weekly learning plan? So there are a lot of example templates of weekly learning plan available in the DepEd Order number 17 series of 2022. I will try to add on my description box the link to the DepEd Order number 17 series of 2022. O kaya, madali lang po itong hanapin sa Google Chrome, sa internet. Hanapin lang natin, DepEd Order number 17, series of 2022. Ang dami po nilang examples ng template for WLP from kindergarten to senior high school to ALS. Diba? Lahat po yan, may example sila. So, i-download lang natin yon so that we will be guided. Anyway, the general format of WLP goes like this. So, nasa ibabaw yung title, weekly learning plan. Right below that, ilalagay natin what quarter are we teaching in, what quarter is this WLP for, what week, and then the milk. So, kailangan natin mailagay dyan the most essential learning competencies for that specific week. And then we have to indicate as well the grade level and the learning area. May mga pagkakataon, may mga sample dun sa mga template sa DepEd Order number 17 na naglalagay din ng content standard and performance standard. So, depende na rin sa atin yun siguro. We can also include content standard and performance standard based on the curriculum guide of the learning area. Okay? Anyway, right below that is where we start our weekly learning plan. So, there are actually 5 columns for our weekly learning plan. Ganito po yung paggagawa niya. Naka-column po yung ating weekly learning plan. On the first column is where we're going to indicate the day, kasi weekly learning plan nga to. So, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, kung ano man yung mga klase natin for those entire days, ilalagay na po natin yan. Okay? So, for example, sa column day, nakalagay dyan 1. But instead of that, ang linalagay ko is the day of the week at saka time ng day and time of the class na i-handle ko. Pwede rin tayo sigurong maglagay dyan ng date. Although hindi naman siya masyadong required. Pero I guess pwede rin naman. But what's important is the day and the time of the class. Okay? On the second column is the objectives of the lesson. So, sabi ko nga, kung maalala niyo pa, ilalagay natin dito sa ating ang link ng ating paggagawa ng lesson plan. Kung saan, sabi ko nga, we can do the same objectives that we used to do before, yung ating knowledge, skills, and attitude. Pwede tayong mag-graph based on the most essential learning competencies lagi. Lagi hindi tayo lalayo doon. Or, we can also put on the objectives, the content standard, and the performance standard as per our curriculum guide. Okay? So, gagamitin natin sa pagpe-prepare nito ang ating MELP, ang ating curriculum guide. On the third column is where we're going to put the topic of the lesson. So, ang topic, of course, makikita din natin yan sa curriculum guide. Okay? And then, the fourth column, which is very important, is the classroom-based activities. Okay? Classroom-based activities, dito na ilinalagay ang ating daily lesson plan. Okay? So, dito sa fourth column natin linalagay ang daily lesson plan. Sa fifth column, which is the home-based activities, dyan tayo nagagawa ng ating WHLP, Weekly Home Learning Plan, na katulad ng ginagawa natin before. So, ang importante na i-take note natin dito is that on the fourth column, which is the classroom-based activities, gagawa po tayo dyan ng lesson plan. Hindi po ito katulad dati ng WHP that we only write activities for the home-based activities. Hindi po. Gagawa po tayo ng lesson plan ang ilalagay natin sa ating classroom-based activities. Sa home-based activities, hindi na natin kailangang gumawa ng lesson plan. Kung gusto natin, pwede din naman. But what's important is we list down what the students should be able to accomplish while they are doing school at home. Okay? Pwede yung list down lang natin yung mga activities na ibibigay na kailangan nilang gawin. Okay? Now, let us move on to the example template of WLP that we can find from the DepEd Order number 17 series of 2022. So, right here is a portrait style example from that DepEd Order. So, ibig sabihin, pwede po tayong gumawa ng portrait style. Kasi may example na portrait style dun sa ating DepEd Order. And we can also do landscape style. Pwede rin pa landscape. So, hindi tayo nakatali sa isang template. Kung mas komportable tayong gumawa ng WLP on a portrait style, walang problema. Kung gusto natin landscape, walang problema. Siguro pwede natin itong pag-usapan within our department. Kasi sinasubmit natin to every Monday, yung ating WLP sa ating department chairperson. Kino-compile niya yan for checking and for submission to the principal's office, syempre. So, dapat pare-parehas siguro tayo ng style para pag finolder niya, isang style lang. But, of course, we are not limited to just doing landscape or portrait. Kung anong mapag-usapan natin, then we can use either portrait or landscape. Now, let us start trying crafting. How to make WLP? Let us try to craft our WLP. So, I have here an example template of a weekly learning plan for senior high school, which I got from DepEd Order number 17 series of 2022. So, kinuha ko lang po yung example na pang senior high school since I am teaching in senior high school. Pwede po kayong makakuha doon from the DepEd Order na example for elementary, for from kindergarten, for junior high school, even for ALS. Meron din po doon, Alternative Learning System. So, marami pong example doon. So, I got this one as an example for a senior high school weekly learning plan. So, tingnan natin, susubukan natin gawin the same way as it is in the template. So, for this, I decided to craft, as an example, to craft a lesson plan for oral communication in context. That's one of the core subject po sa senior high school. I'm no longer teaching oral communication. I used to teach oral communication few years ago, pero hindi na po ako nagtuturo ng oral communication. Hindi daw po ako qualified. Charot! Hindi po. Medyo nag-focus na ako because I am a TVL teacher. So, focus na po ako sa TVL dahil dumadami ng ating mga estudyante sa TVL. So, I let go of the core subjects. And bakit ko napiling gawa ng WLP ang oral com? This is because of a request from one of my co-teachers. Shout out sa'yo, Dr. Lani Peñamora. Ayan, sabi niya, itama mo naman sa vlog mo yung paggagawa ng lesson plan sa oral communication. Yes, eto na nga ma'am. Hello ma'am. This video is for you. Okay, so gagawa tayo ng WLP for oral communication in context. So narito yung aking nakuhang milk. So that's based on the most essential learning competencies under oral communication in context. I also have here below the curriculum guide for oral communication in context. And of course, I also have to have with me the self-learning module for oral communication in context. And for this video, gagawa tayo ng weekly learning plan for the first week of oral communication in context. Let's do it! So, this is the template that I personally did for my weekly learning plan. Ano po? So, based dun sa template ng DepEd Order number 17, gumawa po ako ng isang template kung saan magta-type na lang ako every time gagawa ako ng weekly learning plan. If you want to request for this, you know what to do? Here is my email address. Pwede kayong mag-request sa akin. Sa email po ha, wag po sa messenger. Hindi ko po masyadong nabubuksan yon. Yung mga nasa request folder. So, pupunta po tayo sa email. Email nyo po ako if you want to request for this soft copy. Kasi yung template sa DepEd Order number 17, of course, naka-PDF yon. So, hindi yun editable. So, gumawa ako ng template na editable para every time gagawa akong WLP, magta-type na lang ako dyan. Okay? Pero, finalo ko din naman yung template ng galing sa DepEd Order number 17. Only that, I put a header sa aking template, syempre, para ma-recognize ng DepEd and our school. So, linagay ko yan. Wala yan sa template, pero linagay ko yan. Aside from that, as is na po yung ating template ng WLP. We have the title weekly learning plan, yung quarter week, the milk, nag-include na rin ako ng content standard. On the other side, the grade level, the learning area, and the performance standard. Same format, same table, meron pa rin tayong 5 columns, which is for the day, the objectives, the topic, the classroom-based activities, and the home-based activities. Okay, so umpisahan natin sa pag-fill out nung top part ng ating weekly learning plan. So, since I'm going to create a weekly learning plan for the first week, that is first quarter or quarter 1, week 1, and based on the milk, and that is the first week, the most essential learning competencies for the first week is explain the function, nature, and process of communication. Okay, so makikita po natin yan dito sa ating milk. Okay, sa most essential learning competencies. So that is the first week. For the first week, explains the functions, nature, and process of communication. Okay? Kinuha ko rin yung ating content standard para sa lesson na ito, which I got from the curriculum guide. Ayan, sa curriculum guide, nandiyan po yung content standard. Bakit hindi ko kinuha yung performance standard? Kasi yung week 1 actually has 7 learning competencies and it is supposed to be taught 6 hours in a week. So, dahil isang lesson lang naman ay prepare natin ngayon na WLP, hindi ko muna kinuha yung performance standard kasi hindi pa niya nako-cover yung buong learning competencies for this content. Okay? So, hanggang 4 lang ang aking kinuha. Learning competencies, number 4 lang ang kinuha ko for this example. Okay? So, I just included the content standard, which is the learner understands the nature and elements of oral communication in context. So, grade level, that is for grade 11, and the learning area is oral communication in context. So, tapos na natin yung ibabaw. Pupunta na tayo dun sa ating table. On the first column, which is a day, linagay ko dyan kung anong araw siya ituturo. For example, Monday, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock a.m. Okay? And then, the objectives. Sa objectives po, ang kinuha ko na po is yung mga learning objective galing sa ating curriculum guide. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 learning competency, yun po ang linagay kong objective. Okay? And then, of course, the topic is from the curriculum guide as well, the content. Yung galing naman doon sa content column ng curriculum guide, doon ko po kinuha yung ating topic. Okay, so na-fill out na natin yung first 3 columns. Pupunta na tayo sa 4th column, which is the classroom-based activities. In actual, ito yung ating lesson plan for face-to-face setup. Okay. So, for our lesson plan, gumamit po ako ng 4A's format. Kasi yun po yung ginagamit namin dito. But, kung titingnan nyo yung mga weekly learning plan template dun sa DepEd Order number 17, Series of 2022, iba-iba yung ginamit. Merong gumamit ng 4A's, meron ding example doon ng 7E's, diba? Yung may explore, explicit, and all. I-discuss pa po natin yan sa mga susunod nating videos. Hindi pa tayo tapos sa 5A's at 7E's. Minabuti kong gawin mo na yung WLP kasi nga, ito nga ay ginagamit na natin today. Okay. So, balik tayo sa classroom-based activities. This is the lesson plan, and for my lesson plan, ang ginamit ko po ay ang 4A's format. So, I have here the beginning of the lesson. The lesson will begin with the classroom routine, of course. Ayan, pwede na natin yang i-copy-paste. I-assist na natin yan. Kasi ginagawa natin talaga naman yan every start of the class. We have the prayer, reminders of the classroom health and safety protocols, checking of attendance, and a very quick kamustahan with the students. So, pwede na natin yang i-copy-paste on every WLP na gagawin natin. Then, after that, we're going to proceed to the recall or review. So, naglagay ako dyan ng activity for the recall. Since this is the first week, wala pa kaming past lesson. So, ang ginawa ko, since this is the first day of class, teacher can ask some of students to come in front and introduce themselves and let other students ask them anything to get to know them more. So, getting to know each other ang ating recall part. So, may pupunta sa unahan, magpapakilala, tapos yung mga nakaupo, pwede silang magtanong anything about that student. Huwag lang masyadong personal. Okay. After that, of course, we're going to priming or motivation. Siyempre, sa priming, ang ating goal is to get the attention of the students and to get them ready to grasp the learning. So, ang ginawa ko dyan, I started with a game which is called See My Name. So, ilalagay ko yon sa aking screen, sa aking TV screen sa classroom. Tapos, the learners will have to guess what is being asked through picture. So, maglalagay ko ng mga picture, hanapin nila, sasabihin nila kung anong word ang hinahanap. Okay? Dito po sa ating classroom-based activities, hindi po natin kailangang maging detailed, okay? Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, ang ginawa ko ay semi-detailed lesson plan under 4A's format. Okay lang po yun, wala pong problema. Basta we can show that we put lesson plan at hindi lang list of activities. Lesson plan po ang ating classroom-based activities. Anyway, let's go to the 4A's format. So, we'll start with activity. So, ang activity natin, let learners react on this picture orally. So, magpapakita ako ng picture and I will ask the students their reaction on whatever that they can see from the picture. Kung ano masasabi nila. So, we will engage the learners to participate, diba? Engage them to talk and express their opinions. Then, we'll go to the analysis. Sa analysis, syempre, eto na yung itutulay na natin, yung mga student from their prior knowledge to the new learning. Diba? Dun yung analysis Itutulay natin sila. Kasi ang activity, the first part of the 4A's format, ang activity is to get their prior knowledge. Diba? Kukunin natin kung meron silang prior knowledge about the lesson for today. Pagdating sa analysis, i-bridge na natin yung kanilang prior knowledge to the new lesson. Okay? So, dito, we can ask the learners some questions. Linagay ko dito, how did you think that each member of the family communicate with each other? Okay? So, papasok na natin yung communication dito. Having that big family, paano kaya sila nagko-communicate? And then, when does one start communicating? May mga batang maliliit dito, may malalaki na. Kailan ba nag-uumpisang mag-communicate ang isang tao? And then number 3, what are the different ways of communication that the picture shows? Ano ang nakikita niyong pamamaraan ng pagko-communicate na nakita niyo sa picture? Of course, makikita nila may mga batang umiiyak, may mga batang yumayakap, may nagko-computer, may kausap sa telepono. So there are a lot of ways of communication that they can find in the picture. So by that, kina-guide na natin sila papunta dun sa bagong learning, which we will eventually give them in the abstraction part. So, sa abstraction part, andyan na, ide-detalye na natin. However we want to do it, pwede nating ibigay na task sa mga estudyante ang isang, let's say, definition, paintindi natin sa kanila, and let them express that in their own words. So, that's going to the abstraction na. But all in all, ang kailangan maibigay natin sa abstraction is, of course, the content of the topic as guided by our objective and the most essential learning competency. So, kailangan yung ating objective ay ma-accomplish natin through the abstraction. Kailangan mapakita natin sa abstraction na naka-guide tayo or naka-follow tayo dun sa ating objective. So with this, I included the different lessons that they will have to learn: nature of communication, process of communication, and then the functions of communication. Yun yung nakalagay sa milk. Diba? So, explain natin sa kanila yan. And at the same time, pwede rin tayong manghingi ng ideas sa kanila. We can engage them to the discussion. So, after the abstraction, we'll go to the application. So, application na ay letting the learner practice what has been learned, what was learned from the lesson. Okay? So, dito, I asked the students to do the KWL chart on page 12 of their learning module. So, semi-detailed nga, di ba? So, pwede na natin yung ilagay since ang mga bata naman ay may mga kanya-kanyang module. So, with that, I will be able to know, I will be able to identify if they have learned something. So, yung KWL is what they know, what they want to know, and what they have learned from the lesson. So, ilalagay na nila yan dyan. And then, after that is the evaluation. So, from the evaluation, we're going to give a very short quiz in 1/4 sheet of paper and let them answer true or false. Okay? So, that would be 10-item formative assessment, just to identify how much they learn. And that's it. Yun na yung ating lesson plan for our classroom-based activities. Now, we'll go to the home-based activities. Sabi ko nga sa home-based activities, hindi na natin kailangan maglagay ng lesson plan. If you want, pwede naman, wala namang pumipigil sa inyo. But, para mas mabilis, it is also allowed to list down the activities that the learners will have to accomplish while they're at home. So, linagay ko lang dito sa home-based activities. Please do what's more on page 11 of your self-learning module and do activity 1 and 2 from what I can do on page 13 and 14 of your self-learning module. And then answer the assessment on pages 15 and 16. Note, please submit your output on our next face-to-face class, okay? Baka sabihin nyo, ang dami namang pinapagawa ng ma'am. Ang dami namang activities. Of course, that is for them to review what has been discussed during the classroom-based activities para ma-review nila. Hindi yan lahat recorded. Some of them are formative assessment para ma-identify ko how much they learned and if we are ready to move on to the next class. Okay, so ganyan lang po yung ating home-based activities. So, this is my finished weekly learning plan for oral communication in context, week 1. Okay, so nandyan yung aking classroom-based activities, that is for the face-to-face class, and the home-based activities for the modular class namin. And that is for our weekly learning plan. Sana po ay may natutunan muli kayo sa video na ito. Kung nagustuhan nyo po, don't forget to hit that like button. Maraming salamat po. If you are interested with our soft copy ng ating weekly learning plan template, pwede kayong mag-comment, pwede kayong mag-send ng email sa akin. And I will be very much willing to help you with that. Ano po? You can comment on this video if you have learned something. I would love to read your comments, and kung meron kayong gustong ipa-shoutout, of course, very willing tayo magpa-shoutout on our next video. Maraming salamat po. God bless everyone and keep safe. Bye-bye!